Hi, it's Chandra with Super Happy Scrapper, and last year I shared a mini album that I called the Neapolitan mini album, and somebody asked me to do a tutorial on my blog. So this is the mini album that I'm talking about. I did use the binding where you put the chipboard cover on the outside, and I did see that from Kathy Orta. And this is also the hidden hinge binding system designed by her. Um, these pages, there are 6 pages in there with a 1/4-inch gusset. The first side has a library style pocket page. The second, on the back of that one I should say, has just a simple belly band pocket, and I stuck some just cards in here. And then the third page style just has a pocket here on the left side, and then the back of that page is just blank to fit a full-size photo on there. This was the Neapolitan collection, Dear Lizzie I think it was, and so I'm just going to show you. And I should say that even though there's 6 pages, there's only 2 page styles, so it just repeats itself. So I did 2 pages with a set of 3. And what I'm going to do here is just make the page assembly, because I've done several tutorials on how to attach the pages and make the spine and the covers and everything. So I will tell you, for this style cover, the chipboard covers are 6.5 by 9.5. Now this is 3 separate sheets or pieces of cardstock, not cardstock, sorry, chipboard. I don't know why I can't speak today. They're each 2 inches by 9.5 inches. So what I did was I attached all of these to the Tyvek and covered them with paper, and then attached them with score tape to the cover here. Okay, so I have cut all of my paper out already, so I'm going to make the simple, the page, the pocket page is the same on all 6. So you're going to need one piece of cardstock that measures 9 by 6 and one that measures 10 by 6. So the one that measures 10 by 6, I'm going to stick it in my scoreboard so that the 10-inch side is going lengthwise across my scoreboard. And I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 9.5 inches. And then I'm just going to move my scoreboard to the side. So what I'm going to do is just fold on my score lines, and I'm going to crease my folds with my bone fold just to make them nice and crisp and make sure that my folds are straight. I'm going to apply, you want to apply score tape right here or wet glue, but just for the purposes of this tutorial I'm going to use my ATG gun. So you're going to apply your score tape to the flaps while they're in their folded position here, and then you're just going to take this 6 by 9 piece and stick it right on top of there. And this makes the basic page that everything else is going to attach to. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make 6 of these. Okay, so I actually need 2, so I'm going to go ahead and make the second one. Again, I'm sticking it in my scoreboard with the 10-inch side going horizontal, and I'm scoring at 1/2 inch and at 9.5 inches. I'm going to fold and crease my folds. And you don't want to use ATG for this. You want to use a stronger adhesive, whichever you prefer, but the ATG is not strong enough to hold these pages. So I'm just lining it up, excuse me, making sure that everything is straight and pressing down. So again, you're going to want to make 6 of these pages. Okay. So now we're going to start with the library pocket style page. And you're going to need a sheet of cardstock that's 12, let me see if I can get all in here, that's 12 inches by 7 inches. And the first score marks you're going to want to make are, you're going to put it so that the 7-inch side is going across the top. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 6.5 inches. Then we're going to rotate it so that the 12-inch side is at the top, and I'm going to score at 7 inches. Okay? Very simple. Now what we're going to do is we're going to first bend back or fold on your score marks the 1/2 inch scores that you made. Okay. So essentially that's going to go like this. So unfold those, and then what you're going to want to do is cut out a little V right here where you scored at 7 inches and you scored at 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut up to the score line and just cut out a little V. Triangle, whatever. See? So now this 7 inch right here, you're going to want to put those flaps to the back. And this little, I think it's 5, yep, this 5-inch one, you're going to want to fold the flaps to the front. Now, just reinforce your score lines. Now fold it up, so you're folding that onto the front. Make sure they're lined up, and then really crease that score line there. And that's the basic library pocket. Now with these folds here, apply your tape to the flap while it's in the folded position. And you're just going to stick it up onto that page like this. Now flip it over and you have these flaps on the back, and you're going to apply your adhesive to those flaps again while they're in their folded position. Bring your base page here, and you're just going to stick your library pocket onto the front of your base page. I'm lining up this folded mark with the bottom of the page. And then you're going to adhere it like that. Now this pocket, or this page, will be open on the bottom. Okay, what you want to do is you want to use a liquid glue for that. So when you stick your tag in there, it's not going to get stuck on the score tape or whatever you use, because score tape doesn't dry. Oh, I always lose the tops to these things. Just like poke it in there. So I'm just going to add some adhesive, some liquid glue to the bottom of the page here. I don't know if you can see that. Just a thin line closest to the edge as you can get. Oh. There we go. So this is a good example of why you don't want to use ATG. It comes up way too easy. Okay, so you're just going to put glue on the bottom and then fold it down. So when this is dry, there's a pocket in the front and a pocket in the back. So that is the library style pocket, I think. Okay, so on the back of that one, so I'm just going to flip it over. On the back of that one is where I have my belly band style. Now that piece measures 2.5 by 10. And so this is my 2.5 by 10 sheet of cardstock. Now what I did on my album was I used a border punch and I punched both sides. Now when you pick the punch that you want to use, keep in mind that you don't want something too intricate that is going to get folded up or ripped when you actually use the belly band, when you stick tags or cards or whatever behind it. So you want something that's fairly stable. I don't know. I'm just trying to line this up the best I can so that it's kind of, the scallops are the same on both sides. But It doesn't really have to be exact. Okay. So that's all you need to do with that. So now what you want to do is you want to put it into your scoreboard so that the long side is going across the top at 10 inches. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 9.5 inches. And that's going to be your belly band. Since I have the scoreboard and my punch out, I'm going to go ahead and make the pocket for the next page. And what you want to do for this is punch, you don't have to, but just punch one side only. Oh, I guess I should tell you. This is 10 by 3. So I'm punching one long side, and that's it. And this is just for decoration, nothing else. Okay, whoops. Got a little excited. Okay, so now I'm going to put this in my scoreboard again so that the 10-inch side is on the top, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 9.5 inches. Then I'm going to rotate it and place the side that I didn't score onto the left side so that the 3-inch side is at the top, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Now we're done with the scoreboard. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my belly band style page, and I have those 2 score marks at 1/2 inch on the top and 1/2 inch on the bottom, and I'm just going to fold those, and I'm going to apply adhesive to the flap while it's in its folded position. Now you can add this belly band in the middle like I did, or you can put it off to the, either side that you want. I'm going to stick it in the middle. Try to make it straight, and that's the second page. Now bring your second base page back over, and you're going to take the piece that we just got done working on. We punched it on the top, and the bottom is completely flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold on all my score marks. So folding the 1/2 inch side and the 1/2 inch on the bottom. There's going to be a square at the bottom from where you folded these two. You're going to cut out the square, and what I do is I go at a little angle, and you're just going to cut out that piece like that on both sides of the bottom, and this is what's going to create your pocket. So now you're going to fold all the flaps in and apply adhesive to the flaps while they're in the folded position. You want to keep your smaller flaps on the outside so that your tags don't get stuck. So glue your smaller flaps onto the bottom flap, if it stops locking up. Oh, I hate this. Okay, so you have this bottom flap here. Press that down first, and then press your flaps on the side down so that they adhere to the long piece, so that when you stick your tag in there, it doesn't get caught up on these little flaps. And this is why I love score tape so much, because it's so quick, it's easy, and it's less messy than glue. Okay, so our second page, what we're going to do is, the binding is going to be on the left side of the page, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to apply my pocket to the left edge. Just make sure it's straight and press down. So I have a pocket here, and I have the pocket here, and then the last side of the page I just left blank and decorated it however I wanted to. So you're going to make a total of 6 pages, and you're going to make 3 sets of what we just made. Now the measurements for the tags in my book I'll go over. This little library pocket here. This tag is 5 3/4 by 6. This big tag is 5 3/4 by 8. Each page has a pocket, and that tag is 5 1/2 by 8 3/4. This belly band page, this card here is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I just scored it at 4 1/4 and made it like a card. And then I used a corner rounder chomper on the 4 corners and stuck that there. This little fold out that I have that you can stick little wallets on is 10 by 3. And what I did was I scored at 2 1/2 inch increments, and then I just used my corner chomper, I'm sorry, my border punch on the last 2, and then I folded it in, and then I just stick it in there. Excuse me. This little pocket that we made here, this tag measures 5 1/2 by 8 3/4. I think I gave you the wrong measurements for this one. This page tag, oh, I wrote them down, but now I don't know. Okay, the page tag is 5 1/2 by 8 3/4, and this pocket is 5 1/4 by 8. So there you go. There's the tutorial. I do have separate tutorials on how to attach the pages, make the hidden hinge binding, and do the cover, so you can check those out for that. As far as matting this, I would just measure. I like to leave a 1/4 inch gap, or I guess I should say an 1/8 inch gap around all my paper. So I would cut my paper 5 3/4 inches wide. And then for this one, since this space is 2 inches, what I would do is I would cut it to 3 inches just so it's hidden down there. And then I would just mat that. That's exactly the same because that's a 2 inch space here. And then this is just 6 by 5. So I would make this 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. As far as matting the back of this page, you have a couple options. You can mat the whole page, or you could leave the whole page, the cardstock, and just mat the belly band here. And the same with this. You can mat this whole thing and then mat this into coordinating paper. Like what I did here is I matted the back with this green checked, and then I used the flowers there. And then I matted this with different, and then used the same flower paper just to bring these 2 pages together. So that's all there is to that. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.